When it comes to sports in Nigeria, well, a lot of youths are really into that particular sector because it makes them very happy, competitive, and also promising. Well, it has been confirmed that sport alone can offer Nigeria over 25 billion naira if well harnessed with the world. If well harnessed. Welcoming you on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Now we'll be looking at a lot of stories for this evening. We quickly look at starting with the Diri Wrestling Classic. That's National Wrestling Classic taking place in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. The Bayelsa State government have been hosting the federal, talking about the whole Nigeria, talking about different wrestlers right now. Over 500 they are competing in the competition, where we have the likes of Olympian Agiomo Kolawale winning gold on day 4. This competition started about 3 days ago, and now it's still ongoing, and it will run till it will actually be ending tonight. But the good thing is that a lot of athletes, a lot of wrestlers are winning gold. Some are winning silver, while some are winning bronze medal. It's been a very good opportunity for wrestlers to showcase their talent in this competition. To let you know, according to Commissioner for Youth and Sport, Bayelsa State, who also double as Nigerian Wrestling Federation President, Daniel Igali, he says that they will be using this particular competition to serve as trials for the Commonwealth Games. So it means it's a big event because lots of wrestlers will be picked from here to compete for Nigeria over there in Commonwealth Games in Birmingham precisely. Joining me to talk sport is Amechi Agbo, a sport journalist who is here with us to talk sport this evening. Good to have you, Amechi.
Good evening. Thank you so much.
Well, I've just been rolling out wrestling there concerning the National Wrestling Classics tagged Diri Classics. That's wrestling classics taking place in Bayelsa State. And a lot of Olympians, wrestlers from different angles in Nigeria have been winning laurels, and it will be ending tonight.
Yeah, of course, it's a commendation for Nigeria Wrestling Federation, and the president, no doubt, has been able to revive wrestling in the country. And wrestling, we all know, has been a medal haul sports for Nigeria globally, and I'm not surprised that some superstars are taking part in this competition, and the hype has always been there. But I want to a situation, can we just maybe try to shift this championship from Bayelsa maybe to any other states, and try to give every other person the kind of a sense of belonging per se, maybe host in Abuja next year. Now, hosting Abuja next year, then subsequent one you take to Lagos, so that by the time you are rotating this thing, it's going to inculcate and give everybody that sense of belonging, and then we should be able to see more active participation in the competition. This is just my personal take anyway.
Well, so that it goes round.
Yes.
Well, maybe because at least Bayelsa State government are deeming fit to organize this and sponsor it.
Yeah, it is. Of course, we have to take into cognizance the fact that there are financial obligations involved, and it depends on who is coming to build the cart. So if you are taking it to Lagos, how much committed will be Lagos State to the financial responsibilities involved? But I think if our governments across are very determined in terms of promoting sports, nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible. Coming from Amechi Agbo there, we've been looking at wrestling in Nigeria, and it's taking place live at the national, that's during the National Wrestling Classics taking place in Bayelsa State, in Agoa precisely. Wrestlers are really showcasing their talents there, and let the best wrestlers be picked to represent Nigeria at the event. Now we move away from wrestling. Let's talk about a particular issue that actually started like a joke on 29th of March. Nigeria play against Ghana. It was not an easy game. It ended 1-1 draw, although that particular draw did not favor Nigeria. Ghana qualified for the World Cup. And after that game, it went awry. A lot of fans were not happy with the fact that Eagles could not defeat Ghana and qualify for the World Cup. So they went on rampage. Some Unruly fans destroying things at the stadium that led to a lot of issues. But just yesterday, FIFA came with a big hammer. Right now, as we speak, well, Nigeria will have to cough out 150,000 CFA francs for the fact that even though CAF approved the stadium, looking at that CAF letter, that CAF approved the stadium, but The main thing is that FIFA right now, they fine Nigeria 150,000. We'll be paying that money. That will be a huge amount, at least about 63 to 64 million naira. That's number one. Number two, actually, okay, Nigeria, if you are going to host this Nigeria versus Sierra Leone AFCON qualifiers, it must be behind closed doors, coming from FIFA, despite the fact that CAF actually approved it, and they are saying, well, we must play behind closed doors. And you look at what happened at the stadium, where fans had to be pursued out of the stadium because of the fact that they were becoming unruly, destroying so many things after that particular incident. Amechi, it wasn't a good one for Nigeria that night.
I think we got a fair punishment, because what happened that they remember a life was lost, and the magnitude of the uproar that followed out the final whistle wasn't something anybody envisaged. But this is the reality we have to face. To me, as far as I'm concerned, it was a fair punishment for Nigeria Football Federation, because they failed to do a lot of things right. And talking about play, in that match, it was a huge disappointment to everybody, most particularly because the team did not play as a team. They did not play as a team that has a focus, that have a challenge, that have a ticket to pick. So if they had played well and lost that game by that away goal, it would have been a different ballgame. And again, a lot of the fans that went haywire after that final whistle, and most of them are the people that sacrificed a lot to close their shop 2 days for that very match, transported themselves far away from various regions of the country to Abuja to watch that match. And at the end of the day, they didn't get what they wanted. They didn't enjoy the game. The ticket was not picked. But then there is no justification for violence. There's no justification whatsoever. So FIFA coming out with this sanction, I think it is fair enough. It remains to be seen how NFF is going to cough out this. And then in the coming days, we're also going to see how we are going to be able to learn from this setback so that it doesn't occur again. So 63 or 64 million naira to be paid. Our Sierra Leone first leg match of 2023 AFCON qualifier to be played behind closed doors. They're not too difficult a situation, but playing a match without fans, of course, is demoralizing. But this is the price we have to pay for what we did not do right in that match against Ghana on 29th March.
Now, looking at, let's take it one by one. The two sanctions that comes now. Number one, the money. We have to cough out this amount of money. Although some people are saying we can appeal, that NFF can say appeal. That's what I actually saw before entering the studio. Now, if NFF appeals this particular verdict coming from FIFA, you see that they are going to reduce the amount of the money, or they will allow fans to come to the stadium, or how do you see it?
I think the only appeal they are going to institute is maybe appeal to reduce the fine. If you are talking about behind closed doors, FIFA has a standing rule. And when you go to Court of Arbitration for Sports, they are going to look at the CAF rule, what did they state, and then if the amount imposed. Because if you look at, there are other matches that fans encroach into the field of play, but they didn't receive as much amount in terms of fine to Nigeria as accrued to them. So when I saw that release by FIFA, I had to go through their website and go through it, and I saw a kind of discrepancies. And the FIFA did not even at a point made mention of the medical guy that died, I've forgotten them, from Zambia, that died in the course of that million. So is the amount fined Nigeria commensurate to the offense committed? Maybe this is area Nigeria Football Federation may try to argue so that FIFA should reduce the fine, because to me that fine is much anyway. If you take for 64 million naira to 1 or 2, 3 stadiums in this country, you can uplift it and make players and athletes to come in on the train.
Now, looking at the fact that that really happened, yes, Nigerians are not happy about it, the fact that the unruly fans destroying things. But the Zambian man that died, after the report that he wasn't killed, that he slumped because of cardiac arrest. That was what actually came out. So a lot of people have been looking at, oh, he was beaten, he was attacked. No. The news that came out was the fact that, confirmed by even the CAF medical personnel, was that he had a cardiac arrest. We need to always add that, because at times when news breaks out, people don't look at the positive side or any other side. They just go straight negative. And the next, in fact, when I saw the FIFA verdict concerning the incident that, some people are just not looking at, okay, the stadium was actually approved by CAF to host Sierra Leone.
Yes.
People are just looking at, Nigeria has been slammed with sanction, 64 million, 63 million, paid behind closed doors, this. Okay, what if the stadium was not approved? Because for now, when they came to assess the stadium, what if they said no? That you guys, we cannot host any event here. You have to go to maybe choose another country that you can actually play your game. What if? That will not actually sound well with Nigeria, because they will feel like, despite all the stadium we have in Nigeria that is non-approved, a lot of people will not look at the positive side. Okay, they still give us the chance, despite what happened at the stadium, to host the events there against Sierra Leone. That's the qualifier.
Yes.
The only thing is, you have to play this behind closed doors for you to know the effect of what you did.
Yes, I think that sanction to play without fans is, of course, directed to the fans. Is a punishment against the fans, because you were unruly in your last match in this very stadium. Please, we are not going to expect into this stadium. CAF approved for us to use Moshood Abiola Stadium to play against Sierra Leone if NFF so decides, because they can even decide to take it to Uyo or maybe Benin City. Those are the three classic stadiums that we have currently. But if we are playing it anywhere, there shouldn't be a single fan. But I think there may be, what do I call it? There may be leniency for media, for the journalists to be there, maybe after accreditation, because you need the media to be there to cover the match. So, as I said earlier, there is no justification for violence. If Nigeria didn't qualify, as happened last month, it doesn't mean that we can't move on. Now we are talking about our Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, so we can't continue to dwell in the past. We need to move on, learn our lessons from yesterday, and continue to push so that tomorrow will be better.
Now, still talking about the Eagles of Nigeria, a lot of people are worried, rather, that, by this end of the month, we'll be playing against Sierra Leone, and yet we don't have a coach yet. And we don't even know what is going to happen. Already, news are coming out that Salisu Yusuf is going to be the Emir of Affairs who will take over, and he's insisting on having Ahmed Musa and Odion Igalo. That's not even the problem. But right now, where are we going? No coach to be declared. They only announced some that will be technical crew, right? But the coach, today is 3rd of May. We'll be playing by, let's say, by 29 or thereabout.
We are playing between 30th and 12th of June. Between 30th of May and 12th of June.
So,
any of these dates.
It means it's this month. And we're playing the first leg here in Nigeria. And yet we don't know who will take over and at least pick these players.
Bros, I am really not surprised on the situation. Nigeria football, we are used to this fire brigade approach. Remember the under-20 is in Niger right now for WAFU Championship. Remember, we appointed the coaches less than a month to this competition, and they called 40 players to camp. From there, 28 they camped. Other players came in from left, right, and center to be tried at the screening right here at the Go Project. At the end of the day, we had 28 players to go with. In 2 weeks, we did this magic. In less than 2 weeks again, we are going to Niamey to do magic, to qualify for the African Under-20 Nations Championship. We appear to be on serious people, on serious nation when it comes to the issue of football. Because it is laughable and really sad that less than a month to a Nations Cup qualifier, we do not have a coach. Remember what happened to the Nations Cup in Cameroon? 3 weeks to a competition, we announced the sacking of Genetra. I have been an advocate that Genetra is adding no value to our football, but sacking him at that very point in time was a serious miscalculation. You shouldn't have done that. He has qualified us. Take him, let him go to the Nations Cup. After the Nations Cup, you can ask him to step aside if he didn't do well. But the funny thing with Genetra, despite not playing a good football, he has been able to meet his, conditions set out for him. But the reality now is, we sat in 3 weeks to competition. We performed woefully. World Cup, we had a nation's, an indigenous coach, and this has always been my problem with indigenous coaches. They are never in charge. You invited Oge Onaze. because there was a particular pressure on you. You invited him in the standby team players so that you can assuage a particular individual or group somewhere. You invited Oduane Gallo for whatever reasons. It's an indication that he was never in charge. But most times, these foreign coaches may not take this bullshit. But now, less than a month to a Nations Cup qualifier, we do not have a substantive coach. Now we are looking at Yusuf Salifu to man the hurdle. Have he been given that opportunity? Why is NFL foot dragging in confirming him immediately? Let him start work. Let him assemble home-based players to start training immediately. Because I do not have any much confidence in our foreign-based players. They come here, they play matches as if they are walking on the street. No commitment, no zeal, no fighting spirits, no hunger. So it is high time we incorporated in the home-based team. Even if they are not good, bring them in and train them, give them opportunity. Somebody didn't do well. You watch a match today and somebody didn't do well today. Tomorrow he did well in another match. Are you going to throw him away?
No.
So we need to start doing things in order. NFF, their fire brigade approach, very sad.
We've been talking concerning Nigerian football there, where FIFA sanctioned concerning Nigeria about the stadium that will be used. MK Abiola Stadium will be shut behind, at least behind closed door against the fans against Sierra Leone. And also they've been fined 63 million thereabout for the fact that Unruly fans disrupted after the game anyway, and it turns to a big one. Well, talking about Nigerian football, we have to get things right. Right now, we don't have a substantive coach of the Super Eagles to play against Sierra Leone. It's just, let's just say, less than a month now for us to prosecute the AFCON qualifier. Very, very crucial. Now, we move away. Let's talk about another match that will be coming up tonight in UEFA Champions League semi-final, second leg between Villarreal and Liverpool at the Estadio de la Ceramica over there in Spain, the city of Villarreal. To be happening live. Liverpool actually leading the first leg. They won 2-0, and you have the second leg coming up tonight. Can Villarreal turn things around at the Estadio de la Ceramica? We're waiting. Now, Amechi, looking at the way it is, Arnold Danjuma, Samuel Chukwueze, all the players in Villarreal, even their coach Unai Emery, saying they will have to come out and play good football against Liverpool, who we know they gave them tough time in the first, despite winning them 2-0. Yes, Liverpool, in fact, suffered for those 2 goals they scored. But tonight, Emery says the players, his players, the Yellow Submarines, must come out and play good football, while Jurgen Klopp is saying they will also suffer. I don't know why he keeps seeing Villarreal as there.
Well, I thank God that the issue of away goal doesn't come in anywhere again. So it's either you play your game to win or you defend not to concede. But whichever way, whether you defend or you attack against a Liverpool match, a Liverpool team under Jurgen Klopp, he will always attack you. You saw the match between them and Man City. It was all firepower everywhere. You score me, I score you. You defend, I defend. So Villarreal in the first leg defended. They defended and waited for counter-attack. And in the first half, in the second half, they tried to open up small. And that opening up small, Liverpool capitalized. So Unai Emery has to be very, very much cautious. But seeing them to score 2 goals against this Liverpool side, maybe 3 goals to overturn the first leg and qualify is going to be a daunting task for them, because Klopp has programmed this team to reach the final, and I think they are fired up for that assignment.
What if, you know, because no one actually, at times, we've seen comebacks after the first leg, and now, what if Villarreal, because football can just be so unpredictable. With all due respect to Liverpool, I know how formidable the team is. I know how, let me use Nigerian English now, I know how ginger they are. But really, to be candid, what if Villarreal actually come to the park and shock Liverpool?
I think nothing is unpredictable in football. I remember the fight back between Liverpool, PSG and Barcelona, I think 2016, 2017, and then the fight back between Liverpool and Barcelona about 2-3 seasons ago. It looked like a done and dusted deal for the team that had the higher goal scoring chance in the first leg. But in the second leg, against Barcelona, for instance, Liverpool needed 3 goals to go through. To push the game into extra time, but they ended up scoring 4 goals. And Barcelona was shocked with that result. So 2-0 to me is still an open play. It's still an open play, and nobody should take anything for granted. 2-0 can be cancelled out in minutes, and before you know, the third goal could come in. So, yes. But I don't see this Liverpool team being complacent because they have this 2 goals advantage. 2 goals advantage are very, very slim for you to play around, even 3 goals. So they need to watch it out. But Jurgen Klopp conceding 2 goals and then maybe 3 goals in this final leg of the semi-final, that is another unpredictability. But then, Villarreal has been very, very formidable, and this is their best performance in terms of Champions League outing in their history. And remember, last year they won the Europa League for the first time in their history, and they have extended that classic performance, defeating Juventus, defeating almighty Bayern Munich, and reaching the semi-final. Even if their journey ends here, I think they should celebrate as if they have won the Champions League.
Well, we've been talking concerning Villarreal, Liverpool for tonight. That will be a match that a lot of people want to see. What will happen between the 2 clubs? Will Villarreal turn things around at the Ceramica? Is it possible? Very possible. For Liverpool, they can hold on to it, either drawing or winning, but losing by the margin of 3 goals might not be too feasible for Liverpool because that team is ever ready not to be complacent. If we look at Jurgen Klopp, he doesn't do that, and he will instill that to the brains of his players. We wait to see what's going to happen tonight. The fit of this player will determine who wins this game. Villarreal are not condemned yet. You just have to watch out. They might just come back to actually sting Liverpool. But with all things put into test by Liverpool, they can also win this game hands down. Well, we wait for who to qualify for the final. It's the second leg here, and we are waiting who carries there. Before we go quickly, let's look at 2 transfer stories trending. Lazio and Serbia's midfielder Sergej Milinkovic-Savic is a target. It's a target for Manchester United and PSG. Talking about Milinkovic-Savic, is a player that has been playing with Lazio, and right now Man United and PSG are ready to buy this player, who they call SMS. Is outstanding midfielder, and for Manchester United, Erik ten Hag has really put him as one of the players to watch, and he wants to get him to move straight to Old Trafford. Meanwhile, PSG are not giving up. They want to get this player who really has been a subject of discussion from all clubs that wants to buy him. Outstanding player for Lazio there, SMS. Now we move away from that. Before we wrap it up, let's talk about Barcelona. They are unwilling to actually make permanent the deal of Adama Traore. Traore joined them from Wolverhampton Wanderers on loan, although he was their former player before he moved, now coming back to join them on loan. But so far, it has not been a roller coaster journey for Adama. The wait has been for Aubameyang. But for Adama Traore, Barcelona are saying, we will not make this deal permanent. So it's possible you see this giant, well-built player going back to the Molina Stadium. That's it on 360 Sport for this hour. We also appreciate you, Amici Abo. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Good one. As I always say to you, that you always try to do sport. It will earn you money and also profession. And you can always make it sport of business and fitness. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.